Hello, dear friends. Thanks for tuning into this video. I'm happy to be with you here. I feel like a lot's going on in the masculine and feminine collective. I've been getting ahead of these videos and, trying to post for the energies that are coming forward. So this is a reading, I think it's going to be around the 25th of June. So this is right after the solstice. We're, kind of approaching the darker side of the moon, because this will be, let's see, the darker side of the moon. We'll be approaching our new moon. Is that right? Yes, that's right. Excellent. Okay, so I've started with our plant medicine. We're starting with the masculine today. I know usually it's ladies first, but we gotta let those men lead sometimes. So we start with a reverse of cordyceps. Okay, now this card did come up for the masculine a couple weeks ago, and we'll hold it upright to begin with. Now, what I find actually that this isn't, the way I'm just going to read the card up front is through the reversal of like this DNA activation that's been happening and been going on with us. Now it's like it was like doing some root and some physical work, and now it's kind of coming down this way. So I think that there's a perspective shift happening with the masculine right now that pertains specifically to addressing women in their spiritual powers, and like say that the feminine is traditionally of spirit and the masculine is of earth. So the swap that's been happening, because the women are really clearing out stuff physical, or the feminine's really clearing stuff out physically, the masculine has been getting stronger downloads. Because of the eagle and this thing, it really, it feels like it's coming into spirit, all right? That's not going to be the traditional read of the card, but that's what's coming forward. And I am going to just look in the book because I want to know what the traditional read is, because I feel like that could probably inform. So it says, reconnect to spirit, resistance to death, forgotten your power, weakness. Okay, so I feel like the medicine coming through in that is like from this way down. All right, so I expect like some lightning bolt insight kind of coming through the masculine at this time. Now, of course, I'm talking about this both from the internal and external energies. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you will understand that, and it feels silly to explain every time. All right, so for the feminine, we have the weaver, lavender. I'm actually really getting the message from this card is still about transmuting poison. I was thinking a lot today about doing yoni steams and cleansing out that root component. What I'm seeing with that is the healing of lavender is she's kind of like a tough, rose is very sensual and like unconditionally loving. Lavender's a little more tough love, and also traditionally connects to more of the ancestral realms. Okay, so this is more lineage healing, this sort of thing. Now, what I like about this card too is she's carrying a baby, she's wearing a white dress, so there's a component of inner marriage and inner union. Now, I'm going to jump forward just a tiny bit because the masculine's next card is the Green Mother, which is the Empress. Okay, so what I'm seeing, if the Cordyceps card is revival and it's coming down, what I'm seeing here is the revival of the sacred feminine, in addition to healing the mother wound more directly. Okay, now this is coming forth in through the third energy, through sensuality, through sexuality, through mandrake. I'm sensing here, and I was just talking with a friend about that, there's been a lot less nonsense between the masculine and feminine as far as engaging sexual energies when the heart is not involved. So the message I kind of get here is we've been doing such crown and root chakras, both the masculine and feminine perspectives, both within and without. So we're having these polarities, and it's moving through us like lightning. We're grounding down like trees. Mandrake is also a very rooted thing, but then bursts forth. And there's a lot of sacred components and light codes in all of this. This mandrake energy here, there's an arch here as well. So it's really I think we're flipping and orienting perspectives so that we can ground and root them in. Now, in relation to the healing moon and like this is the feminine, this is the masculine. So this is the 9 of challenges. Okay, so what I'm getting with the 9 of challenges or the 9 of swords in this masculine feminine dynamic is still this like conquering fears. I think for myself as the feminine, there's the fear of, how can I trust that this is different than what it was before? You know, so there's still this like structure around fears. They're still living in the old fairy tale. I think for myself, it's just this idea of like, it's still Snow White running through the forest where she thinks all those cute little animals are trying to eat her at night. And then she's just like crying in the clearing, you know, and before she realizes that she's safe. And then for a while, she's still playing small, right? Before she like blooms into her radiance and into her strength, into the true essence of the woman, the divine goddess that she's meant to embody so that she can move into the happily ever after. Now, we talk about the happily ever after as a creation between the two. Now, I think that through these sensual energies, and we do a toss to these 2 cards because there's a lot of similar energies going on here. This is a little more of a spiritual version of like maybe this earth version, but it's both women who are grounded, they're connected, they're being in nature, they are like active creators of their reality. So what I'm getting is that this piece is this mother wound aspect is hugely being cleared and healed for the masculine and feminine. Now, when I first asked about the shared energy internally, I got the 5 of boons, and I wasn't exactly sure what this meant. Now, often, okay, I feel like this is in relation to the past and where things have been, which is still operating from this place of lack, this old reality, okay? And it's not feeling safety, it's being in this sense of scarcity. So this is what's coming through in this shared energy, and there might still be components of that are at play, but that's where we really have to use this mother, nurture, loving energy that might be even coming from the masculine to like address and serve this. This card feels very karmic, and it feels very connected to ancestral lineages. Are you all distracted right now by this little mosquito that's flying around my head? Because I am. Mosquito! All right, pause for the mosquito. All right, thank you for upstaging me. Are you done? It's still flying around, but maybe it will stay out of the frame. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's a mosquito. But what I find also interesting is this last full moon that we had was the strawberry full moon. And while this card feels very wintry and there's frost, there's all these strawberries leading to this warm, safe space. Now, both of the cards that came up after, because I asked for deeper clarification on this card because I was a little confused by it at first, we got the 6 of boons, so the 6 of pentacles, so that's the next one in line, all right? And then we got the 10 of boons, which is after that. Now, what this indicates for me in the third energy internally is that we are addressing this wound. We're creating a safe space. We're being held by whatever it is. I was just talking about rabbits earlier today. But we're being held in these safe spaces for healing by coming together in community, I think is kind of the narrative that's coming forth. Now, what I love about this is this little hut in the background feels very much like a place that you would be able to cuddle up. And it's certainly the place where all of these people are gathering and inviting. So it's just like, come forward. You don't have to live in these wounds anymore. Like, we want to hold you. We want to protect you. We want to celebrate together in community. And the great thing about the 10 of boons, like, this is kind of like, you know, the dreams coming true in the physical sense. This is the manifestation of dreams coming forth, right? There's community, there's camaraderie, there's wealth, there's abundance, there's all of this stuff, okay? So that's the internal energy. Now, I've asked about this externally and how this is showing up, okay? So with this mother energy is the internal. We also have this 5 of wands as the external for the masculine component, within or so without. All right, so when it comes to the 5 of wands, I really get a building and working together in community energy. I'm also feeling a really strong component of men's group and men coming together and supporting each other, lifting each other up, so that like more more clarity comes forth and more accountability is being implemented. It's like, oh, this isn't how it goes anymore. Oh, I just made this connection too. There's a rabbit in this card, and then she's surrounded by the rabbits. I really do think that the masculine is stepping forward to offer a more nurturing, healing component that's addressing final layers, perhaps of past hurts from the feminine, okay? The masculine wants to rebuild something stronger, and he needs his other waking up men, or awoken, enlightening men around him to help support this. Now, this isn't all men. This is also just general community coming forth. But also in this, it reminds me of the first time I ever went bouldering, like in a boulder room. And it was such a supportive place. Like, everybody's watching. They're like, oh, you did it. And then it's their turn. And it was so supportive. It was so encouraging. It was a really healthy dynamic of a room. And I really sense this too. It's like we're all working together to celebrate each other's success. Like, me watching you do that successfully is what leads to my ultimately understanding how to achieve success. All right. And externally with this, we have this Knight of Wands for the feminine. Okay. So we have both wand energies coming forward in the external, which shows me that, like, spiritually, all of us are being activated in ways that are like supplementing and supporting each other's shared goals. And this is really good. What I like about this card, I get different messages from this card every time I look at this, but this to me really feels like the feminine breaking free and just being in her own essence and being in her own fire and doing so apologetically. She's like, I know I'm in my light. I know I'm holding it down responsibly. I know I'm a part of this community, and I'm not going to doubt it anymore because this is my power. All right. So it's really being in this essence of the drumming, of the play. And that feels so freaking good, right? Okay, so the shared energy of this Five of Wands and this Knight of Wands, and again, this is made possible through the support of this masculine who is saying, hey, like, you got this dream, and also I'm going to help you build it, all right? And I feel like that reassurance is what's allowing the feminine to break free. She's like, oh, finally, we're on the path with the shared vision. Now we can move forth and start to play. And there's still work and there's still structure that's implemented. There's still details being worked out. There's still a balance, a physical balance that's happening in the polarity of the two. Because as mentioned in previous videos, what we're understanding more and more is that the feminine and the masculine are two pieces of the same whole, right? And the fact that so much of it, that we've been at odds for so long because so many of the behaviors have been destructive up to a point, but now everyone's starting to wake up to their toxic behaviors and saying, actually, I don't make that choice anymore. All right. This is an ongoing theme that's been coming up in these readings, and there is creating balance. It's creating balance between these two polarities. It's masculine, feminine, light and dark. It's finding balances so that we can dance in the world. And now what I love is, like, in this, I placed these cards in reverse. Interesting. So it's, again, we're finding balance. We're helping each other achieve these new states of consciousness, new states of groundedness, new states of being active on this new earth. Okay, so with this polarity too, this really shows to me a match of heaven and earth, of sky and earth, of masculine and feminine, of dark and shadow, of yin and yang. Okay, it really shows me this balance. She also feels very similar to this woman, but even more grounded. You know, this is her working her day job, but her day job still allows for a sense of freedom, expression, travel. It still allows for her to go forward in the path. So this is feeling really good. Now, I asked for more clarification around this Two of Pentacles because it's like, well, what is this actually about? And we got an upright King of Pentacles, all right? This shows me that there is full manifestation of union happening, both internally and externally, all right? This is the masculine and feminine working together. Any imbalances, judgments, perspectives that either party had before is now being eliminated because there's just no room for nonsense anymore. We have to step forward into these greater truths so that we can ground down our homes, we can ground down our communities, so that we can ground down our unions, all right? The way the world heals is through these sacred unions, all right? This is, you know, I'm not going to get into the religious lore, but the true intention of Yeshua or Jesus was bringing this heart-centered consciousness, this Christ consciousness to our planet. And now we're all of us who have it within us, and many of us are encoded with it, are waking up. Now, some of us are encoded in the next level of holding the polarity of the masculine and feminine within us, and to bring that into union in the physical. All right. When we get into these lovemaking cycles and we're bringing in sacred sexual union, and we're being conscious and deliberate about how we're utilizing sexual energies, because it's not just about like, oh, I'm gonna get off and oh, you're so sexy. Like, yeah, that was fun in the past, but we're not doing that anymore, because we can't have sex without heart. All right. You cannot be making these physical connections without love. Now, I think that there's people who can do that with multiple partners at a time. You know, they're able to cultivate this free love thing. That's not my path. My path is to cultivate it very specifically with a person. But until that person shows up in a consciousness that's ready to do that with me, the way that I'm showing up for other masculines is by being in this heart energy of like, you want this yummy love. Now connect this yummy love to your penis. You know, it's purpose. We want purpose in all that we do. We want intention. And that goes same for the feminine. We can't be just like giving out our hearts to every person. We have to learn how to create sacred fields. We have sacred heart for a reason. Now, as these sacred unions are coming together, which is so incredibly beautiful, what we are seeing is this protective, it is this protective layer that is unfolding. All right. Now, this is a really similar message to the video I just did, but it's coming through in slightly a different way, and it's much more grounded. Okay. This shows to me that the energies are evolving. You know, if every time I do a reading, the energies are taking us further into the thing, by talking about what we're feeling is going on is how we're bringing it into consciousness. And for me, like, it doesn't matter if, you know, tons of people are watching these videos or not. The thing is, as I speak to them, I am greeting in these energies to the new earth with the intention of it affecting not only myself and my own path, all that I am connected to. It goes through my karmic lineages, my bloodlines, my soul lines, like through the collective as a whole. Because it's time to wake up and we can't put it off any longer. All right. So I'm going to ground this in, I think, really strongly with just one shamanic oracle card to sum it all up. What is this all about, and where is it that we're really going? Okay. So, you know, we're in this dark moon energy. This is what we can start to carry forward as we cultivate these intentions for the new moon. You know, we're shedding the last layers of scarcity, of fear-based consciousness, and we're really coming into these grounded, true energies of this new earth. So what are we doing? The card that falls out is grounding, okay? That feels very much like this King of Pentacles energy, all right? What I love about this card is it feels like it shows all of the elements, all of the seasons. It shows the roots, it shows the air, it shows the fire, like we've got the water. All of these components are moving forth, and they're also all merging and growing into each other. And it starts with one tiny acorn. Now, these two acorns are together in union, it looks like to me. I might be reading into that a bit much, but it feels like such a celebration of two parts coming. What if these two acorns got planted together, and that's how this new tree gets fused? And we keep talking about this sacred tree, the original tree. Okay, I'm feeling, I'm going to draw one more card. What the heck, why not? Just a Lumerian card, because I think that's, you know, we ground it in, and then we also have the, you know, these new old energies coming back forward, and it's really helpful, this Lumerian deck. All right, so the one that came from is Fire, Solaris Sublime. So this is, we live in a dualistic world, bringing light and dark into balance. All right, so the closing line of, in this place of coalescence, both sides fuse oneness, not just as re-emerging with the universe, but an alchemical process of becoming empowered, the empowered creative force we truly are. Okay, so what we see here on this card physically is a union. Oh, and there's even like, wow, this is, I've not looked this closely at this card before. So you have the union here, this active DNA strand, like all the chakras, even within the chakras, there's sacred codes emerging, this sort of thing. It's hard to tell if this is coming out of her or if it's going into her. Either way, there's more things being spawned from her, you know, so there's more of this. This is such a radiant bloom that's occurring here. And I really truly believe that this fire, the Solaris Sublime, it's being activated from these heart spaces, all right? And I do think that there's been so much of this crown energy coming in and getting cleared out, so much old mental patterns, and for the women it's all this sexual trauma, you know, so it's the men that's been stuck in their heads and the woman who haven't been able to activate their bodies, all right? And it's time, it's happening because we are actively meeting in the heart. This is really exciting. This is really big. I know it's scary and I know it's tough work, but I really trust that if you're watching this video, you're doing the work, and I'm proud of you for doing it. I'm proud of me for doing it. I'm proud for everybody who's on these paths of sacred union, as within, so without. So I wish you many blessings on your journey. Please reach out if you want support or you want a direct reading that we can move forward with. PRISMHEALERS@gmail.com. So my name's Haley, by the way. I don't introduce myself every video because I don't got time for that. We got messages to relay, and who I am really doesn't matter, because I'm just doing my job, just doing my mission. All right, many blessings to you all. Have a great one. Bye. Aho.